Kenny Pickett looked really good in his first preseason game. People are ready to put the yellow jacket on and put him in camp when it comes to that after that first preseason game. He's going to get more reps with the varsity, according to Mike Tomlin, the head coach. What do you think of that development? I have plenty of Steelers fans getting way too excited about that move by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I think let's slow our roll a little bit here. He's not getting the gold jacket.
Me and Brooke on the same page, man. Dude threw for 95 yards. Calm down.
Let the church say amen.
In the second half of a preseason game. Look, I was excited. It's the most engaged I've been in the fourth quarter of a preseason game. But let's be realistic here. He's not starting week one. He would have to have an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
And Mitch Trubisky would also have to have an out-of-body experience in the opposite direction for that to happen. I mean, and look, Kenny Pickett has looked better than he looked in the first, rookie mini camp, early in camp, all of that. And I asked Mike Tomlin about that, and he laughed out loud. He's like, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. Right? Guys, if he wasn't doing that, that would be an issue. But he's not going to start week one. Even though it'd be a great, Yinzer fairy tale, it's not happening.
Yeah, I personally, and you're there, Brooke, on the ground, seeing it every single day. But from a distance, in my eyes, I don't think he starts at all this year. Me personally, I don't think he gets on the field at all because I think in-game action in the preseason is different than in-game action in the regular season. You're playing against frontline guys versus backups. It's a totally different situation. If Mitch Trubisky's played against frontline guys, he understands what real NFL game speed is versus college game speed. So is Kenny Pickett going to turn out to be great? We don't know. But right now, he won't be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers until something happens, like Brooke said.
Brooke, I got to ask you about that wide receiving core because I'm close with a guy who coaches that group, Frisman Jackson. He coached me while I was in Tennessee. And then again, he was doing an internship my rookie year in Atlanta. I'm very high on Frizz. I think he brings a different dimension to the game. He can see it from a lot of different angles as well. But when you see a guy like George Pickens to go along with Deontay Johnson, Calvin Austin III, right, and the Chase Claypool, how good do you think this wide receiver group can be this year if those guys can stay in unison and do things that they're supposed to do?
I mean, I think they're going to be really, really good. And I am also trying to temper my expectations because it's the preseason. I've seen these guys, against air or light coverage in practice, but George Pickens is the real deal. And I think the Steelers had an idea of that when they drafted him, but still, he was a guy coming off an ACL injury, so you don't quite know exactly what you're getting, especially, some guys come off an ACL injury and they're never the same player. Devin Bush is a prime example of that. George Pickens picked up right where he left off. His body control, to me, is the most impressive thing for a guy that size, that lanky. I mean, he still is so tight in his body control, his hands, his feet. He's doing all of the fundamental things right. And so when you add him, Claypool, who I think will be in the slot, Deontay Johnson looks good too. I mean, this is kind of an embarrassment of riches a little bit in this receiver core, which is impressive, especially considering they lost Juju Smith-Schuster. They lost Ray McLeod, who's not like a headline guy by any means, but he filled a role for them last year. And then let's also add Gunnar Olszewski, who I thought was just going to be a punt returner, but he's been somewhat of a security blanket for Kenny Pickett, who I agree, I don't think that he's going to start this year, but he's still shown that he can have a role in the offense and not just be a special teams guy.
Can I tell you what I like the most about George Pickens?
Please.
He's a dog. He is a dog. He's not a little puppy. He's a little. He's a dog.
Easy to DMX.
And when you look at the run game, right, he don't take plays off. He's actually trying to embarrass DBs. And I go back to a play against Michigan in the semifinals game this year when he was at Georgia. Dax Hill, who went in the first round, right, secondary player, he punked him. Knocked him down on the ground, and then told the sideline of Michigan to be quiet, shut up. And I seen a play like that in the preseason game. He don't take plays off. You know he's a guy that you can count on, and you want him on that front line with you game in and game out.
He is that dude. He is, his attitude, everything. He's a prankster. He's a jokester. He fits right in with the group. But, when he's on the field, he plays at a different level. You're right. He has that dog in him.
He's a Key gonna point at him talking about something like me.
Wow. Hey, what's wrong with that?
But the Steelers have always had a way of understanding the receiver position or historically or whatnot. How does the Deshaun Watson situation, Brooke, 11-game suspension, change the landscape in the AFC North.
I think it opens a door for the Steelers. I've thought that they were being overlooked throughout this preseason because they don't have the headliner at quarterback. Well, now neither does Cleveland, at least for the first 11 games. I think that's significant because I think the Steelers have more talent than a last place team, but the rest of the division had a lot of talent too, that it was kind of like, well, where else are they going to go? This opens the door for the Steelers not to finish last, to be in the conversation for, a first or second place team. I mean, I think some things would really have to break their way, but you get that in Coach Mike Tomlin. Like, he helps things break the Steelers' way. So, I mean, the only time the Steelers could face Deshaun Watson is in the last week of the season, which, I mean, for all the drama, everything, I think that it feels like with the NFL drama and how much it loves that's definitely going to happen. But I do think that this opens the door for the Steelers.
You know what's so funny is look, I get it. They went to the Super Bowl. Yay for the Bengals.
Wow.
But everybody...
It's so easy to get the Super Bowls according to Keyshawn Johnson.
No, it's not. But everybody seems to think that Cincinnati, by the way, was 10-7. They were not 17-0. That all of a sudden, this team ran away with the division. And they did not run away with the division. It took Lamar Jackson to be hurt for them to run away to win the division. Now you look at the situation where there's no Deshaun, there's Jacoby Brissett, Lamar's coming back. I don't know that Pittsburgh can't win the division with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. I don't know that they can't.
I don't think that it's that crazy to think that they could, because they have guys like George Pickens, like Najee Harris. Look at the defense. TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Miles Jack, Cam Hayward. I mean, they are too talented. I've said this, all offseason, to finish in last place. They have the talent to finish in first place.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.